Hi there and a very warm welcome to the Grassroots Weekender Show here on Sunday. What a day that we've had. It hadn't started off too bad in the morning time where we were at Jeffrey Humble, but as we were leaving around about lunchtime, the wind started becoming rather difficult indeed. That's high blustery weather, and I think the forecast was gusts up to 80 mile per hour. That's here on Merseyside. I'm not too sure what it was like where you were, but we managed to get grassroots football on, which is a good thing, not on the grass. Unfortunately, they were cancelled, and I think it was due to the storm coming in. And I think as the day goes on, as we know, we're preparing now for evil weather, shall we say. The forecast last week was it was going to be great the weekend, but obviously it's changed. It was bitter, by the way. It was pretty cold. The kids played the football as best they could. But when the wind starts getting a grip of grassroots football, honestly, it's horrendous, isn't it? The ball starts rolling for corners, goalie can't put it down, it stops shots, it really does, it's running against you, it slows the players down. Wind is horrendous, it really is within the football. But hey ho, at least on the 3G pitches, 4G pitches, we got games on the grass. Unfortunately not. You may have got them on in your area. If so, please let us know how things were. But where I was, REFspect, brilliant all around. It looked good. Any referees, no reports coming into me at the moment, all saying that, yeah, it was a pretty good day, and maybe that's to do with the weather, or we just couldn't hear it with the wind if they were shouting at us, and that does keep it down, honestly. Even the players, what's it like, coaches, managers out there, when you're shouting and the wind is really drowning out your shouts? The kids are probably made up, but things don't go right there either, do they? Let us know your thoughts, how your scores went, how the games went. I know there were some cup games there today, so well done to all the teams, all the parents, all the referees, committees who braved all the weather to get out there over the weekend and get some grassroots games on. So as I say, let's know what your area was like, wherever you were, wherever you're based. You know, we do know that flood warnings are in place, high wind warnings are in place all around the country. Well, I've recorded the show, so I'll be watching Liverpool v Bournemouth a little bit later on, and myself, I watched the Arsenal Crystal Palace game, and you know what, when the team doesn't play for a manager, it speaks volumes. You can see that, you know, Crystal Palace, that was woeful. Team players, the money that they're on, and those poor fans have to watch the way the players perform. And how is it when a new manager comes in that the teams start performing? That doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. So to be honest, Premier League, I'd start looking into these things. What makes it a change? It doesn't lift the players, not in a million years. They've been playing it for weeks like that. And Paul Roy Hodgson, the oldest manager in the Premier League, and I think he's made history anyway throughout the Premier League, doesn't deserve it. He's only there to try and encourage the lads to play football and give something back to the fans. Well, that doesn't wash. And at least there was no manager out banners that were going up there at Crystal Palace yesterday. I think they were having a little go at the board and the hierarchy of not maybe backing Roy Hodgson with players, you know. And my honest opinion, since Zaha has gone, Palace don't seem to be themselves, you know, and to be honest, it is a good club, and they do have good players, but they're not performing. So what you do is take your Premier League players out and put the kids in. That's the way it should be. Kids who want to play, kids who want to become a name within their fans and with their clubs and their fans, put them on and see what happens. Fingers crossed our lads turn up today, because if there's high winds, it does spoil the game, and everything points down to a low scoring game, keeping the scores down. That's the only thing that affects the Premier League games, isn't it, for scores? So it'll do Bournemouth the world of good, because if you're attacking the wind or the wind's against you, then it becomes a little bit harder for shots, because the shots are just not powerful enough, and it helps the goalkeeper out. So fingers crossed, we just scrape a win. I'm not bothered, because we have Fulham and then Chelsea this coming weekend, and then we're away to Arsenal. So we've got big games coming up, and hopefully all our players are coming back. I'm not too sure about what injury it is to Mo Salah. Maybe someone's heard there, but I haven't. But maybe when the game's on later, I'll hear a little bit about it anyway. But wherever you've been today in grassroots football, I hope you've had a marvellous day, even though the weather was atrocious. And I've got one of those brollies, and that's thanks to Grassroots Football UK. Got one of his brollies, and they blow out inside out, as they say, but you can fix them straight away. They're not shattered, knackered, as they say, and they end up in the bin. At least I've got a decent brolly that I just turn, fixed the little thin bar on the ends, whatever they're called, ladies, I'm sure you all know, and put that in, and they're working like a treat. Anyway, it was nice to catch up with Chris and Colin and a few of the referees, Jack, Alan, Dave, they're all there, Alex, they're all there doing a great job, and Charlie, young Charlie there, fantastic. James and Jack, there's Chris's sons, they were out there braving the weather, and hopefully the rain stayed off for them to get the games going, because when that rain comes, it's unfair on the referees, to say the least, because they are there throughout the day, aren't they, basically refereeing the games. They don't go home, they haven't got the privilege to go home after a game. I know some coaches do stay and have a couple of teams and also watch their teams, and some coaches are scouts as well, so they stay and watch the team and the kids perform as well, because they're on a scouting mission. Now, with these scouting missions, these kids that they pick up, are they ever going to make it? I don't know. You know, you talk away to these scouts and they have to get their fill in, as they say. It's like a traffic warden booking cars, they have to get so many in, I suppose. Where does it all go from there? Where does it lead to? Do we watch them after the third time? Do we invite them in to a club? I think that's the way it happens. But we were talking yesterday about teams losing players because of the academies now. They bring a law in or rule in and say that you can play academy kids in grassroots football, and then they change it a little bit and put academy games on at the weekend. So that means kids playing on a Saturday, not too sure about the Sunday at the moment, cannot play for the grassroots team. So there's a way around it, wasn't it? They don't want kids to play in grassroots teams. And I feel sorry for most of these kids, because they are going to be released before they know it, because clubs won't keep them all on. You have to be really good and lucky to be kept on. And what happens to the kids when they've been released? Their heads go down, you know, and they don't feel as if they're wanted by anyone. So maybe all the confidence is blown and they've lost it then. But some of you parents have got to realise as well, you know, you're all made up as soon as you get grabbed away by an academy team, but it's staying there. Once you don't stay there, how do we all feel? Think of it that way as well. That's why I always want kids to play as old as 14 for grassroots football. And you know what, 14 years of age is good enough to go to a Premier League club. It really is, not at 6, 7. I know they all want to swoop on kids who they think have really got it and going to make the grade, and they want to keep them at their club. But I think there's ways and means around it, and let's hope that the Premier League can step into this side of things. You know, I think everyone will agree with me, and safeguard the kids in grassroots football, playing with their friends, enjoying it. They're not going to lose their skills. They're not going to get injured there. Why wouldn't they get injured there and not injured in the academy? It doesn't make sense to me. Let them play with the kids and pick them up at an older age to go towards the academy games. That's what I think. And you've got plenty of time to work with these kids. At 14 years of age, you know, you won't get a game in the Premier League. So 12 months, kids won't lose it. They still have the skills. All they have to do is be added to by you professional players. There you go. It's not food for thought, because you all know about it. So it's all about, you know, keeping the kids playing football and enjoying their livelihood with the kids, because if they get released, boy, it's a downer for them, you know. And you're not putting people down. You know, let them have a little run out of the academies, all the kids, keep your eyes on them, but don't swoop on them and start making teams and travel all over the country and promise them £4,000, £5,000, giving them vouchers for clothing. I thought all that stopped actually, but I think it's all happening again, yet again. The kids as young as 12 years of age are on probably more than us at the moment, aren't they? If the kids swoop on them, if the clubs swoop on them and sign them up. I'd love to know, what's your feedback? Anyone want to give me any ideas about what your son or daughter have been offered from your clubs, from your professional clubs, for the kids to keep them in there? Or if you've been released, I'm sure they're the people who will tell you, the ones who were kept on the cards, on the books, would probably not say anything, don't want anyone to know. But what are you clubs offering? What are the clubs offering the kids now and the parents to keep their child with them at the professional club? Be nice to know. And then you talk about all these fair play things that are going on within Premier League clubs, you know, finances and clubs getting deducted points. Well, look into it on the bottom side of things, on the grassroots side of things. What is still going on? What is going on with professional clubs, Premier League clubs, with the kids in grassroots football? There must be some doors open. Get panorama on them all. Investigate with all the kids. Take kids for trials and find out what they are getting offered by the clubs. There you go. Be nice to know. Anyway, if you've been out and about and you've been playing football in this weather, fantastic. It was great. Cold. As I say, I had my brolly up there. It was a little bit of rain, but not too much. I think the rain is coming really, really heavy later on, and we can't knock our weather at the moment in the Merseyside area because it hasn't been that bad. It's been a mild winter up to now. Plenty of rain. Yeah, we can moan about the rain, floods, but hey ho, what do we expect in the winter? And over the Christmas period, normally we've got tons of ice. We've had 4 days, I think, of frost and snow. That's gone now. Are we going to start moving into the milder weather within the end of January, coming into February? What do we expect in February? I think a little bit more frost, but not too deep. And I don't want the fog. Touch wood, fog's the worst thing in the world as well. When you're driving, you're going to work, you're going a distance, you've got to be on the safe side. And if you're taking the kids to football as well, and it's foggy, then again, will the games be on if it's foggy? Well, remains to be seen. But let us know, mal@don'ttexttheline.com. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the social network sites. It'd be lovely to hear from you, especially if you're a coach, you're a manager, you're a committee member and also referee, or even a spectator. Let us know your thoughts about how the weather was today in your games, also how the game was and what the sidelines were like, because you know, it was the lull before the storm on it. We want the calm before the storm, and that's what we wanted on the sidelines today, and that's the message we put in social media. Calm before the storm. You don't need to start shouting, screaming, swearing from the sidelines towards our referees. Keep them in the game. And you know what? I'm still looking over social media, and I'll be clawing all over it later on, having a little look what the games were like, because all these organisations, thankfully, is the game getting better? I hope it is getting better on the sidelines, and we're all just out there encouraging the kids to play. Coaches, great, love it. It's getting more behind the kids on the field of play, and parents getting behind the kids as well. Do we still have glory hunters? Do we still have parents who are dragging their kids out of a team because the team isn't doing so well, and putting them with a team that we think they're going to win all kinds? Because that is not football. Let the kids develop, let the kids grow with the team, let the kids develop around a good player. That's the way I look at it. You know, honestly, kids will develop. Look at school, we always talk about this. They go and start in infant school, and then they progress as they go on through the years, don't they? And you know, the lessons get tougher and harder. The reason they get tougher and harder because the kids have already learned one on one is two, you know, things like that. You know where I'm coming from. And they have to develop, you have to get better attitudes, and kids grow up with better attitudes, and you can see them, and the teachers know the ins and outs of all their pupils. So this is the way it begins, and it should be no different in grassroots football. You know, parents should let the managers coach and let them get on with the game, leave the referees to officiate without them starting to shout all over the touchlines and on the field of play, because they don't do it in school. You can't go to kids in classrooms, stand on the side and start shouting about responsibilities and what they need to do and how to learn and how to listen and what to write. They don't start shouting that in school. So why do we do it at grassroots football? We just want encouragement, and that was the message that I put out today. Keep it calm on the sidelines, and it's brilliant to see loads of encouragement on and off the field of play, and that makes common sense. It really does. So whatever you're out with the kids, watching them, because they're only going to learn from yourselves, because at the end of the day, the first role model is the mums, the dads, the aunties, the uncles, the brothers, the sisters and the grandparents. It starts in the family, and you have to be good role models when you go out with your child on the field of play. It's no good turning around and saying, wow, did you see that Premier League player swearing and it was zoomed in by Sky Sports or BBC ITV? And look, that was terrible, because our kids now are starting to copy what he's saying. Beg to differ, because what we hear within grassroots football with the kids, where does that start from? Not from the Premier League. I'm sure it starts with kids around them and from the home as well, because we all have responsibilities to educate our own children and make sure that they go out with good attitudes, because good attitudes are accepted by everyone in work, in the communities, and especially in Premier League football, because kids have got to have good attitudes. They may change as they get older in the Premier League, but they are punished by the Premier League referees. That's what they are, they're officials to punish. Yes, you see them sometimes getting away with murder, and that is down to the governing bodies to act accordingly and make a difference and punish the players with fines. I'd love those fines, by the way, that they get millions and millions of pounds a year on fines to clubs, to players, to give something back to grassroots football. And Don't Cross the Line has been established since 2003. If you clubs want to pick on us and give us some money towards grassroots football, that would be amazing. Honestly, it really would. We could make a massive difference, which we already are. We've been bringing people together since 2003, so feed us some money back and then we'll put it into what we do best, and also giving kids a voice with our podcast, so we know what to do. We know what kids want, and what they want is to be active, fit, healthy, playing football, and obviously have responsibilities. And we need to do that, and we need to help them, and you can help us help them. So come on, Premier League, if you're giving fines out and you're getting fines in, monies in to the Premier League clubs, give it back to us in grassroots football, and we'll make a little difference as well. And I know you say, we give responsibilities to football foundations, excuse me, we give goals away, we give this away. Well, what about the heart of grassroots football? The people who mix in, and the people who get these coughs because they've been out in all kinds of weather, walking up and down the sidelines, making sure that the kids are enjoying their football, the referees are enjoying their games, officiating, and we're keeping peace, law and order on the sidelines. Not officially, we talk to the parents, we don't go police it, we can't, we haven't got the power to do that, but we can make suggestions that they calm down whenever they are watching their kids play football. And it works, believe me, it really does. I think we've gained more friends out in grassroots football than ever before, because we talk to people in the right manner and the correct manner, and we try and make a difference. And obviously we report things back to committees, and also in the long run to the likes of local county FAs if we feel that there's something really, really nasty that's just happened within a game. And I think all clubs would respect us to do that. But first and foremost, we do like to keep our kids playing football, and also the referees officiating, because they have the laws of the games, and they need to teach the kids them, because they need to understand them as well. I don't mean become referees, but they need to understand why the referee has blown the whistle and what it's for. And we've got some great referees out there, young and experienced, who will turn around and explain why they've blown the whistle and why they've given that free kick. It makes a difference, because the kids understand it then, because they're on the understanding that, wow, I must have committed a foul. If they argue, I didn't touch him, then the referee's decision is final. And I think all coaches and managers need to put that and instill that into the kids within the team themselves. Like I do with my club. I'm not perfect, but I do suggest this. We want to try and hold meetings with the clubs, with the parents, and we get them all together, and we have this, the WhatsApp groups does make a difference. You stop your swearing in the WhatsApp groups, by the way, and people running other people down, and coaches and that. It makes a difference. And if you need to, just talk to the parents. And I think I've got a great relationship with our parents and club, DXTL FC. They understand what we're all about, and the kids are starting to understand as well. They're only little ones, it takes them time to understand why we try and make them understand that referees are there to keep law and order on the field of play, and distribute the laws of the game to them, so they understand why they're just blown up for a penalty or a free kick. There we go, we've come to the end of our show. Hope you've enjoyed this weekend with us. Please tune in. If you've got anything that you'd like to put to us, mail@don'texttheline.com. Even if you'd like to appear on the show with us and do a little 20-minute spot, yeah, it'd be great to feedback what you know about grassroots football or what you'd like to see within grassroots football that would make a difference. We'll be back again on Friday, hopefully with our young commentators. We'll keep you updated. In the meantime, put your feet up, relax, enjoy your Premier League games and enjoy the warmth by the fire. Myself, Mal Lane, all the team here at the Grassroots Show, Don't Cross the Line, REFspect programme, no ref, no game, and our Heart of Gold initiatives. Have a great evening. Good night, God bless.